Freddie, right then, we're here for another exciting adventure. Freddie, where are you? Freddie! So this fly through, we are heading along an OS Maps route. It didn't go the normal way I've gone up Penyghent. It heads along across the fields to the right, and we join Pennine Way here. I was very glad of a rest here. It's quite a steep climb. We follow along Pennine Way, and there was a very interesting feature here to the right, which is quite a deep hole. I saw a couple of cyclists at this point. Carried along Pennine Way with Penyghent glooming. It was dark by this time. This is where the normal route joins. You can see the wall on the left there. But we got to the top and I camped at the Trig point. I was aiming to walk on to Plover Hill, which is just here, but I was too tired and it was dark. In the morning we set off following the Pennine Way down. Lovely maintained track. And I was looking for Hunt Pot and Hull Pot. I did think that this was one of them, but it wasn't. This awful gash in the ground, which you can see just here, as Wainwright describes it, and this one is Hunt Pot and Hull Pot. I was going to go and have a look at them, but on this occasion I just didn't get time to. And then we trundled off down the path, very pleasant path, on the way back to the car park. Well, hey, here we go again. It's taken a while doing this one. Last 3 weeks have been a no-go. Last 2 weeks was torrential rain as we were wrecked by yet another storm, and I really didn't fancy doing the walk I'm about to do and then setting up in the rain and then striking my tent next morning in the rain. So it was a no-go. Haven't brought Freddie because he really isn't up to this kind of walk. A couple of years ago he got bursitis after doing the Ingleton walks, and we were petrified because we thought it was long bone cancer, which greyhounds are prone to getting. So we rushed him home, and it was bursitis, so it was just an expensive bill instead of the end. Few things I've got new on this camp, which I'll go over. Already had a couple of failures. You might notice my pack is squeaking awfully, which is really annoying me. My selfie stick, the battery must have run out, I think. So just one of those annoying bits. Got my emergency whistle, which doesn't go on this rucksack. What I've had to do is clip it on the strap, which I'll go over at another time. But it's quite a good thing to get. Anyway, can you see the beast in the background? Possibly not. I might do a zoom in for that one. Let's have a look. There we go. That's the beast that we're climbing. The hill on the border. Quite a few different borders apparently. We'll look at that in a second. Lovely. Another mistake I went is I've already gone wrong once and took a quarter-mile detour up the wrong road. Never mind, it's all good fun. Oh heck! Well, you don't get many holes as big as that, do you? Look at the size of it. It is marked on the map. I'm just about to swing behind me on this lovely junction. I quite enjoyed this last bit of the walk, and then we're going to start going up into the mist, which is a shame. And I've done it, and I am shattered. That last part of the walk up there, my pulse was 150, never went below, had to keep stopping, went on and on and on, as I know it did. I mean, nothing I wasn't expecting, but the last couple of hundred steps were a real challenge, a challenge which I met. And here we have a complete amateur using an alcohol stove for the first time. I had got all the stuff ready, set it up. First of all, organisation was very poor. I went to light it, and as you can see in a second, I actually knock it off the bamboo platform. Not very good. I was very perturbed at the flames getting quite high. I didn't like that at all, and I've learnt since that there's much better ways of doing this. But there we go. After this I stopped using the alcohol stove, but I have since then. I've got a different alcohol stove and I quite like it. It boils very quickly, it's silent, and I really like the way it operates. Here we go, look. Can I get a spark out this steel? Can I heck? No, no, no. And then here we go. Try again. Knock it off, go on. Big muppet. Which means that there's alcohol all over the stove, and when it lights you can see some of it's been spilt. I mean, I can light this first shot now. There we go, look. Oh dearie me. You live and learn. Right, I had to abandon the boiling the water. I've managed to make myself some hot chocolate, but that's disappointing. That will be a piece of equipment to review. It's got legs. I think I can probably do something with it, but it's not worked tonight. I could have got my stove going, banged some heat through it. You know, I've seen them boil in like 45 seconds. You've always got a risk when there's a flame. If the conditions had been more windy and stuff blowing around more, and I had to put more shelter down, a naked flame like that for 10-15 minutes is a lot more dangerous than a gas flame for 2 minutes. So I shall review that. Well, did it. First beer is Jackhand to Beanstalk, Toasted Coconut and Tonka Bean Imperial Stout. like the word stout, definitely like the word imperial, and it says Brass Castle X-Brew York Toasted Coconut and Tonka Bean Imperial Stout, gluten free. Don't know why that makes a difference. And it is a 12% beauty. Let's see how it goes. I'm going to open it outside the tent because I don't want stout all over the place. I've had this in my rucksack for 3 weeks waiting to drink it. Almost cracked it quite a few times, but here we go. Jack and Beanstalk. Lovely, very nice. Strong, 12%. Definitely get the coconut. No idea what tonka beans taste like. That's a nice pint. Cheers. Yeah, so that's another lesson learned. It's been a few today. A definite few. The Hayes Outdoors and Bushman and Blue and Paul Mesner and the dozen I haven't mentioned make this look so easy, and I'm telling you, it really isn't. The physical effort involved is huge. The mental effort is crazy. I've had 3 attempts at coming out. The first time 3 weeks ago, I tried to get up on this very camp. I was going to come and do Penyghent. My head just wasn't there. I just couldn't. Everything was organised and ready, and I was about to step out of the house, but my head just wasn't there. And it was the same the week before. I did do that camp, and that video is still to come because that's going to be quite a shock. But it's you've got to have your head sorted to get out and do this kind of thing. And I know Paul Messner's spoken about this, and Bushman's always saying best place to clear your head, so clearly he's got some things like that. I think Hayes Outdoors, his head will always be clear because he's just such a chilled and cool guy. But it's been really hard getting up here. So, equipment fails. First of all, first and the most important equipment fail. Me. I am way overweight. It's no use going for an ultralight backpack when you're carrying 4 stone of blubber around with you. I've got to sort that out, and I'm going to. Second failure, I think I set off too late. I aimed to be here for 5 o'clock, and of course when you look at Google traffic and you see the times, I didn't anticipate setting off at 3 o'clock to get here for 5, because at 3 o'clock the traffic's much busier, so I had 3/4 of an hour delay on that journey, which didn't make it very easy at all. When I got here, the next equipment fail, I thought, was my backpack. I've got the new 4 50, it's new for me, backpack. I thought it was really good, but I was disappointed. My backpack was always too heavy. I can't afford ultralight stuff, and when you're first starting off you put too much in. Very heavy, but the most annoying thing was it squeaked. And I think it's probably that I loaded it incorrectly. I'm having to investigate that. But I can't have that squeak because it was just bloody annoying. The second was it really hurt my shoulders. After 90 minutes, 2 hours of fairly steep ascent when you first set off, my shoulders started to hurt. And I'd gone for, as all the videos tell you to, one of the smart water bottles as a water thing. Useless. It leaked, got the clip top, it was leaking, didn't fit properly in my backpack, so I couldn't quickly get my water back, and so my hydration coming up was rubbish. It wasn't optimal at all. That's not good. I stopped at a certain point, took my backpack off, had a good glug of water, chilled myself down, put my backpack on properly, tightening it up around my hips and using the system to hook it around my shoulders. Ace. Much better. The next hour and a half's walking was a pleasure compared to the first 2 bits. It was more level, but it was much better. Next mistake, I used Google Maps to do walking directions from Horton and Ribblesdale car park to Penyghent. Gave me the route. I thought, well, that looks about right. Let's go with it. But it's not the route I've taken before. I've done Penyghent 4 times now. I've done it once the other way around, and 3 times coming up the really steep ascent. And normally you walk virtually straight up. You go through a couple of bits next to some streams, and you walk up, and it's quite a steep ascent. But this route took me away, back onto the Pennine Way, and then back up. However, going that way, once I got onto the Pennine Way part of it, it's a lovely path. It's more level, much more enjoyable. Took me past this huge hole, which I've got some clipping. You'll probably seen the clippings already, and I'll put the name of it on the screen because it is shown on the Ordnance Survey map. By the way, definite plus for Ordnance Survey app. Planned a route on that, and it was fantastic. It was ace, really good. So, a couple of equipment fails, a couple of them weren't fails, they were my fault. Things I need to adapt and alter. Good morning. So, had quite a good night's sleep. For first night in the tent, they're always a bit rough. Pleased to see that this morning the cloud and the mist from the top of the mountains disappeared, and you can see from the panorama shot I've shown you that it is pretty much a clear day, although there's plenty of cloud, but I'm not walking through mist. So why is Penyghent the hill on the border? Which border? Don't know. We're a long way from the Wales border. One reason that's crossed my mind it might be is that this wall behind me, the water on that side of it flows down that side into the River Ribble and ends up in the Irish Sea, and the water on this side flows down, ends up in the Ouse and the Humber, and goes into the North Sea. So Penyghent's a watershed. That might be the reason why, but who knows. I was about to get kind of angry with Penyghent No beautiful sunset, no amazing star shows, but I might just squeeze a little sunrise in. I think we've been in cloud for a lot of the night, but there we go. Here's breakfast sorted, a cup of coffee, some porridge, and I don't think I'll be having the breakfast stout. I'm not sure that's what it means. Once again, the Trangia knockoff stove has let me down. Today it decided to melt the lid of my cooking pot. So that is definitely now retired, which is a great shame because I like the concept. Gorgeous. Sun's just breaking through. I've got some mist appearing in the valleys below, looking more and more beautiful. And a smashing campsite that obviously has got nothing left on it. So over to the Trig point and down we go. Hello friend. The geology of this area, well, a lot of the north of England, is fascinating. Many millions of years ago, this area was a sea, and when it was a sea, the sediment collected at the bottom and formed sandstones and limestones, and that's all the lower part of this area. It's water permeable, or water dissolves it very quickly, so you get fantastic underground waterways and caves. As many cavers love this area because of what's underneath it. And then as the earth changed and the ocean, for whatever reason, I don't actually know the reason, it might be that it filled in, it became a river, a delta, and there were lots of beaches, sandy beaches, and the rocks that were formed then were the gritstones, which you see at the top of all of the peaks. And again, it's all over the Yorkshire area and all over the lakes. The very, very coarse gritstone. You often see pebbles, little stones embedded in it. And of course, you get fossils all the way through this. You can often see creatures which have been captured forever. Of course, it's not actually the creature that's there, it's a mould of what the creature was. I don't know much about geology, but it's fascinating to think of the timelessness of where we are. You know, we're talking about hundreds of millions of years on that part, and mankind's only been on the go for 30,000, a couple of 100,000 possibly, but making it a massive impact in the last couple of 100 years. Unfortunately, it's not in a good way. Hello friend. Difficult going up a hill. Coming down on these steps, trying to have to take it out your knees. Just look at that stunning scenery though. Let's see if I can zoom you in on. Just centre of the screen there is Hunt Pot, which Wainwright describes as something like an evil slit. It's very, very deep. 200 feet, I think. Quite awful. A very welcome sight.